Could you make some more coffee?
Yeah. I got you.
The great father of the human race, and his right hands of the
So let's take this in kind of a sequence then.
Yes, sir.
You say the Star people landed in Africa.
Yes, sir.
They started the mines and got
They enslaved the black people whom they found there.
And it seems that that place on the border of Botswana, the Toledo Hills.
Todilo.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That was the place where humanity as we know it was seated.
Yes, sir. Humanity landed there, directed by
Welcome.
the great giant Todilo, the place of emerging of living animals.
I need to get a green screen. I'll wait for some more people to come in here before I start, guys.
A poet announcement. Anybody that makes a Ninja Turtle video. The world's oldest.
Hey, welcome to the live.
Forest.
The world's oldest forest.
The world's oldest fossil forest, found in Cairo, New York, dates back approximately 385 to 387 million years. It features fossilized roots of Archaeopteris and Asterix cladoxylopsid asterisk
The Garden of Eden is in
showing
New
that
York.
complex root systems existed much earlier than thought. These trees altered the planet by removing CO2 from the atmosphere.
So if the oldest forest in the world is in Cairo, New York, right? What does that mean? That means that's the first garden. The Garden of Eden is in New York. New York is also known as the Apple State. That's because the most apples come out.
So look at that. The top one is the Garden of Eden, and the bottom one is the Seneca Star Fort, a village. Why does it looks like the guy that drew the map drew the Garden of Eden, drew the map for that. And it looks like a Seneca village. But anyway, the garden, and you know what's crazy? You got Eden, New York, right next to the Cattaraugus Indian Territory. But the oldest forest in the world is in New York, and the oldest water in the world is in Canada, Ontario, right above New York. The oldest rocks are also in Canada, and all the animals and all the primates originated in North America. The oldest ones do. Look it up. Look up. And then that's why all the animals from Africa actually originated in the Americas. We're the original humans. We're on TikTok, but I can't be on that account because if I get banned over there, we can do a lot more over here. We can talk a lot about a lot more. Over there, you can't talk a lot. But this is all truth that Native Americans are the original humans and Asians descend from us. They walked out of the Americas. And black people descend from Asians. White people are the newest people. What's going on? And this is what the elites believe, yo. This is what the elites believe. The reason why they want you to think that life started in Africa is because they believe that only a certain amount of people can get into heaven. And if you know the truth, that you'll fuck up their chances of getting in. That's why they even lie to you about how many months there are. They tell you that there's 12 months, but there's really it's a 13 lunar cycle to keep you out of tune and out of balance with the universe and disconnected from God. So you're out of sync, basically. Yeah. Native Americans are the oldest people. We're the original humans. Asians descend from us, and black people descend from Asians.
New York. Also, that's not the only reason, because the apple in Adam and Eve's.
Oh yeah, so New York is called the Apple State. So we call, even Senecas call it Cheektowaga, New York. You got crab apples grow there, so that's the oldest garden, the first garden, right? And then those trees in the oldest garden, they look like alien trees, and those are the same trees that Sky Woman planted. By the time they walked out of the Americas and made it to that side of the world, our teachings became Gnosticism to them. Our teachings became the Gnosticism to all of them over there. And that's how they have all of our stories. All their stories in the Bible happened over here. That's why we say we were made from clay. That's why we talk about a paradise with a tree of life or a tree of knowledge, tree of peace. What are you asking about platypus? But yes, the migration happened in reverse, people. On. Oldest tribe in Africa. Black people descend from Asians. Asians descend from us. Do you understand now? So people always say, you look like a Neanderthal. You look like a caveman. Yeah, I look ancient. I look the most like God. We are the original humans. God gave us the instructions. So God needed a being that was smart enough to take care of the animals, feed the animals, and plant the gardens and all that. Crossbreed the plants and be one with nature. That's why we call it Mother Earth. We're children of the earth. We call the plants, corns being squashed, three sisters. Everything in our surrounding is a relative. And that's who we are. We are the original humans, the Ungwehue, the real people. And actually, white people, they can trace their roots back to Adam. Adam wasn't a real person. Adam was a hermaphrodite that they got himself pregnant with his own DNA. That's why Eve was cut from his rib. That was a C-section. Eve came from a C-section from Adam. They're not even real people. They're not even real people, yo. How we're real people. And then black people are mutated mongoloids. Negroids are mutated mongoloids because all black people descend from the San people in Africa, and these are Asiatics. So all black people are Afro-Asiatics. All black people descend from Asians, and Asians descend from us. The migration happened in reverse, people. If you look at the human migration in Africa, the arrows always go down into Africa. That's why their haplogroups are like E and L and shit. These ones are the only ones that have the AB haplogroup. We have the AB haplogroup. We also have A, B, C, D haplogroups that originated in the Americas. So Africans, they have the A haplogroup. They look like Asians. They look like us with woolly hair. The B haplogroup, they're the pygmies. They look like the little pygmies in Brazil and all that. So they look like us too. Black people descend from Asians. Asians descend from us. No, I'm not really too interested in the Holy Orthodox. I'm interested in the older stuff. Where do the Indians come from? We were the original humans that were made by God. That we're stewards of the land. Our responsibility is to take care of the earth. Creator needed a being that was smart enough to take care of the animals and the birds and the fish and plant the gardens and all that while he was gone. So that's part of our instructions. That's why. So we have a very strong verbal way of passing down knowledge and history, creation stories through word of mouth. We have a verbal history, oral tradition. And that's why we never lost who we are. Everybody else forgot who they were because they wrote everything down, and they didn't bother remembering it the way we did. So our stuff is stronger because we learn it verbatim from our elders. No, I know. I know what I'm doing. I think though in those religions you say amen, right? You know you're saying amen, Amun, which is sun god, Amun Ra. And then the Pope, he wears that Dagon fish head. That's a sea god, a fish god, a Sumerian fish god. And then, right, you guys are praying to the devil too. You guys don't have no balance. You guys don't give thanks for nature. You guys ignore it and talk about you idol worship. That's what you guys do. You guys are backwards, actually. You guys are praying to the devil. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was tricking man into thinking he was God. That's who you guys are praying to. And then Jesus is Jesus. When you say Jesus, that's Hail Zeus. Zeus is a thunder god. So you're praying to all these gods and they hide it from you and you just don't know it. That your cross is a ass backwards ankh. It's male now. It's used to be a circle at the top for male female. So you guys are really ass backwards and you don't know it. Because all those stories in the Bible, we had those stories. And somehow you guys ended up with everybody else's stories and put it all in one book. And then our teachings became Gnosticism to y'all. Y'all talked about Sophia, a fallen angel that fell from the highest heaven and got trapped here in the material world. Birthed Yaldabaoth and the Demiurge, right? The twins. The Anunnaki story too. That's our story. You guys, that became Gnosticism by the time it came over there. Sky Woman was Sophia. The Demiurge and Yaldabaoth was Flint and Sapling. Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl, Leviathan, or the Demiurge too. It's cool. Nice to meet you. Nice to be here with you guys tonight. But yeah, black people descend from Asians and Asians descend from natives. All the stories in the Bible, Quran, and Torah actually happened over here. Native Americans have the world's oldest DNA. So back a long time ago in the biblical days, the days of Noah, everybody was giant. They only find people of that stature here in the Americas. The Garden of Eden is also over here, and people walked out of the Americas. You can look up where all the first primates and first mammals originated. It will tell you North America. All the animals in Africa came from over here. Rhinos come from over here. Cheetahs come from over here. Elephants come from over here. Horses, rhinos, camels. They all come from over here. Even their Egyptian gods are animals from over here. Egypt was just a colony. That's not their culture. That colony, that was an Atlantean colony. That's why in Atlantis and Aztlan is where the Aztecs say they came. So that's Aztec culture and the Egyptian culture are one and the same because I actually went there myself and I got to see it. And yeah, that's not their culture from over there. That was a colony. Egypt was a colony for another culture from the Atlantis, and so some of the Aztec culture too, because they say they came from there. Yeah. So, I mean, this is truth. The reason why they want you, they only believe 144,000 people can get into heaven. So they lie to you and have you believe in a lie so you're out of sync and you don't know the truth. Because they believe if you know the truth, it'll fuck up their chances of getting into heaven. So they indoctrinate everybody to believe a lie. This is what the elites do. The Freemasons started the Illuminati and they started Mormonism and they based their beliefs Mormonism based their beliefs in Freemasonry, and the Mormons believe that the life started over here and the Garden of Eden is over here and all that. That's what they believe. So this is what the Freemasons believe, and that's what all the elites are part of. You'll see one day, because even in your Bible, Adam is red. Edom, that's Hebrew for red. Adama is red earth. They say Adam was made from the earth. Red clay, that's Indian clay. Red clay is Indian clay. We say we were made from clay too. They don't say white clay or black clay. Basically, white people, and the further you go back in white people's history, the more like this they look. And the further you go back in black people's history, the more like this they look. You guys are basically mutations of Mongoloid. Mongoloid. Sorry, not Mongoloid. You guys are mutated Asians. You guys descend from the Asians. Black people come from Asians, and then Asians come from us. Asians come from us, Amerindians, Amazonids. I did have it earlier where I could have a guest come up. We were gonna go on TikTok. Maybe I should go on TikTok. YouTube's slow. There's only 13 people in here. On TikTok, if we go on TikTok, we get like hundreds of people in there. Where did white people come from? The middle. That's where they lost their color. They came from the middle of Gartha. Tall whites. Cro-Magnon, pointy head, cone head. It's the time. It's the era. 2012 was our era. The Mayans predicted it. 2012, our era started. The Mayans said they predicted that there was going to be a new era, and that's our era. Where's everybody tuning in from? Are lighter natives watered down natives? No, not necessarily. I'm not a watered down native and I'm a light native. It's because my people are from the north. So I'm not going to be as dark as a Mexican. Mexicans are right near the equator, so they're going to be darker. So the further north you get, the lighter they get. The further south you get, the darker they get. The shorter they get too, but the further north you go, the taller we get. So it's kind of like that. Long Island word. Mestizos. That's what you guys call lighter Mexicans. Mestizos. You know, it's funny when they try to say there's pretendians on TikTok. They'll try to say that natives can't fight. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, do you know how many boxing fucking world titles Mexicans have? They don't count Mexicans as natives, yo. And we got to wake up our southern indigenous relatives. So my people were down in South America at one point, and my people were indigenous to Western New York. The reason why most tribes in the north were down in South America and Mexico was because, like Venezuela area, was because there was an ice age and it forced most of the tribes. That's where that Canadian ice sheet is. Most of the tribes in the north were forced down into Central and South America. That's where we get our corn from. That's where we get our corn from, and that's why we have similar stories to the Mayans. That's why our warriors look like Aztec warriors, yo. They got the high hairline, shaved their head back, right? We also got a lot of hook nose, right? Gauges, septum piercings, tattoos, the war paint. Our Iroquois warriors look like Mayan warriors a lot. And even our creation stories are the same with the creator twins. We have the same creation story with the creator twins, that we're the same people. That just proves we were down in South America. And that's probably why I look South American too, is because we were down there. We don't have a migration story walking into America. And even so, if we walked from Africa into America, the oldest sites should be in Alaska and they should be getting younger as you come in. But no, it's the opposite. The oldest sites are in the south and the youngest sites are in the north. So that proves that people walked out of the Americas. And then all the animals in Africa came from the Americas too. But yeah, we were all down in South America and Central America at one point. And that's why we all look like one another over here. You'll have a native that will look like a straight Andean, or straight Mayan. Yeah, you got some Senecas that look straight Mayan too, 100% Mayan. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like you got natives that look Venezuelan too. So that might be why you think I'm like a Latino or Hispanic, is because they identify sometimes with Latino or Hispanic too. So that's why. Who is Anahalav Navi to you? I don't know. We say we're Ongwehue or Ongwahueka. So that means Indian. We're Indian. We're indigenous. Ongwehue is indigenous. Indian. The original people, basically. Some people say it means the real people. I like to say it means the real people too. Because, yeah, white people can trace their lineage back to Adam, right? And Adam was a hermaphrodite. He didn't have a belly button either. He was an experimentation. And they made Eve was cut out of Adam from a C-section. From his rib. They cut Eve out from his rib, remember? That was a C-section. So, yeah, that's how they were made. They're not real people. And then the same thing, when they go wild, the same thing happens to them like a pig. They grow hair all over and get hairy and their hair turns dark. Yeah, their hair turns dark, And then they get aggressive and hairier and bigger. Like a boar, wild boar. A pig turns into a boar when it goes out in the wild. So when we go out in the wild, that don't happen to us. That don't happen to us. To the mongoloid stock. That don't happen to us. We are the real people, right? We belong to the animals and the birds. We take care of them. Those were in our instructions. We're the real people. We are God's people. They were made by a lesser god, the devil, and that's who they pray to. when the real story is the twins that made us. And you guys they were made from the devil, a lesser god, a fallen angel made them and taught them stuff. They're the newest people. And they must have went into the earth to live and lost their color and become wicked smart because their noses get pointy and their ears get long. They lost their color. And then their hair, they're like Cro-Magnons. They're pointy heads, so cone heads. Look up the Darrow. They're real long nose, like elephant nose. That's what the Hindu god Ganesh was, an elephant nose. And then the tarot are the pointy heads, cone heads, right? Yeah, we started in South America. If people came out in the middle, they might have came out of Antarctica. Right? They might have came out of Antarctica or the North Pole and came down into America and into Asia, or out of Antarctica into South America and up and out. Straight up. They came out in the middle, yo, from Antarctica or something. Straight. It's gotta be. And there was a tree at the North Pole. That's what the Rupus nigra was. But they flipped the map, and now it's at Antarctica. That's why they made a treaty. Nobody's going to go there because they'll find the Rupus nigra. Nobody's allowed to go to the middle of Antarctica because there's a fucking big-ass fucking magnetic mountain that was a petrified tree stump. And that's why the North Pole melted. The North Pole fucking melted. They flipped the map, so they even say there's a black pyramid down at Antarctica. That's probably the Rupus nigra. Anything magical is magnetic, so magic, M-A-G, magnetic, M-A-G. Anything magical is magnetic properties. Like they killed a Bigfoot and his foot had magnetic properties. He's a magical creature with magnetic properties. The Tartarian connection. So that was like one of the older empires before the Romans and the Greeks. And they had mastered technology, like India was part of it. That's why they called us Tartarian or Indians too, because they knew that we were part Tartarian. Where do I find this stuff? You can look at my page, my videos, bro. I got almost 1,000 videos that you can look from talking about all the stuff that I talk about, bro. Have you heard about the ancient civilization found in South America buried in a cave? You gotta be more specific. You gotta be a little bit more specific with that, bud. Hey, yo. No, I haven't. No.
Garden, right?
Let's put America. The word. Anytime. So my mom.
That's some After Dark. That's what that is. 30-minute live. Welcome everybody to the live. Yeah. So one thing that I would like to be known for is this is the center of my research, that we are the Unwehunwe, the real people, the original humans, right? All the stories from the Bible, Quran, and Torah, and all the ancient religions come from us. We are the real humans. Asians come from us. Black people descend from Asians, and white people are the newest people. White people can trace their story to Adam and all that, but that was the devil that they're praying to, right? Adam wasn't even real. Adam was made as an adult. He didn't even have a belly button. He was a hermaphrodite, and they got himself pregnant by himself with his own DNA, and he got pregnant for Eve, and they cut Eve out from his rib, right? A C-section. So they're not even real people. And then wild man, when they go out in the wild and live in the woods, they get all hairy and all that. That doesn't happen to us. That don't happen to us. We're the original people, the real people. God made us to take care of the animals, be one with nature. We're children of the earth. That's why we call the earth Mother Earth, three sisters, corns, beans, squash. Plant the gardens. The Garden of Eden is in the Americas. The world's oldest water, the world's oldest rocks, the world's oldest fossils, the world's oldest everything is over here in the Americas. The only reason, and even the oldest bones in Africa are found on the coast of Africa, the west coast, Morocco, closest part to America. We just don't allow them to do studies and all that on our ancestors. So and then they don't want you to know, because they don't even tell you how many real months there is. There's the 13th sign called Ophiuchus. It's the 13-moon cycle. Is what all the ancients used to go on. But they tell you 12 to keep you out of sync, because they believe only a certain amount of people can get into heaven. And if you know the absolute truth, you'll fuck up their chances of getting into heaven. So they lie to you and indoctrinate you to believe something else. This is what the elites believe. This is why their ancestors knew this. They called this the Holy Land, yo. The Holy Land. That's why pilgrims were called pilgrims. That's why they took a pilgrimage here. That's why they call themselves that, yo. So Freemasons believe, all the elites are like Freemasons and part of the Illuminati. The Illuminati was started by a Freemason, right? And so was Mormonism, was started by a Freemason. So their beliefs are that the Garden of Eden is over here. Yeah, that's our element. So our element to take care of is the earth. Black people, their element is water. White people, their element is fire. And yellow people, their element is the wind. We're the true stewards of the land. It's part of our instructions to take care of it. He told us he made this for us, and to take care of it and take care of the animals and feed the animals and feed the fish and watch the birds, take care of the birds, take care of the plants, domesticate the plants, the animals, take care of it all while he was gone, right? He instructed us. He needed to create a being smart enough to do all that, and that's why he made us. We are stewards of the land. We're the original humans, the real people, the Unwehunwe. It's part of our creation. That's why he made us. Who was the serpent from the Garden of Eden in Indian history? So they worship the serpent over here. The feathered serpent, that sounds like a dinosaur. Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan, the plume serpent, Amaru, Uktana, horn snake, Miji Biju, right? Snake with antlers, right? One of my ancestors actually drank the blood of one of these like 6 generations ago, and she fed it to her kids. So my 5th great grandfather drank this blood, and my grandma, of one of these things. But yeah, they demonized us when they're the ones praying to the devil. So when they say amen, they say Amun. They're praying to Amun Ra. sun god, Egyptian sun god. When they say Jesus, they're saying Jesus, Hail Zeus, which is a thunder god. Thor's Day, Thunder's Day, Thor, thunder god, right? Sunday is sun worship, right? You're worshiping the sun too. So the fish, the Pope wears the fish head with the eye on it. That's the fish god, Sumerian sea god, right? So you guys are they're secretly praying to these different gods from these different religions secretly, and they're not telling you guys, and you guys are worshiping the devil. You guys don't have no balance. We were the ones that have balance. We don't worship anything. We have thanksgivings. We give thanks to the different elements and according to the moon and the sun at different points of the year. We're instructed to take care of all these things. That's why we're the original humans. You guys were made from Adam in a laboratory. Adam, you guys were only really like 6,000 years old. But no one God. There was two gods. There was two gods, that were born from a divine feminine, a fallen angel, basically. We were made by lesser gods, humans. Because even God has a grandma. Her name's Sophia or Sky Woman. God has a grandma, believe it or not. The God that made us, you and me. Yeah, I know it's hard to wrap your head around, but it's the truth. What can you tell us about the Anunnaki? It has the word ant in it. Anna. And then if you look up the Anunnaki, you can find them planting corn with a golden eagle head or bald eagle head. Eagles are from the Americas. We have the same story as the Anunnaki. Inkini and Leo is Flint and Sapling, the twins that created man and taught them knowledge. So the reason why we were living in the Stone Age when they came and they had armor and gunpowder and all this was because they bit the apple. Remember, they descended from Adam and Eve, come from the hermaphrodite. Eve was born from Adam. It was a C-section from Adam. They say Eve was cut from Adam's rib and made. That was a C-section. Adam was a hermaphrodite that they made. They're not real people. They made them from in a laboratory in Eden, a laboratory. By the time they got to that side of the world. Pretty good stuff, huh? Yeah, if you don't believe me, watch this. Oldest tribe in Africa. Gonna go to images. Click on the first image. That's the San people. These people are Asians, Asiatic. All black people in Africa descend from Asiatics. All black people are Afro-Asiatics. So basically, they're mutated Mongoloids. They descend from the Asians, and Asians descend from us. So Mexicans and Native Americans would be the original humans. And then people walked out. They got you thinking black people are the original humans. Listen, you can get darker and your hair can curl up. It doesn't go the other way around. You can't get lighter and your hair turns straight. Let's just be real here. Why are they hiding the existence of human giants? Because it proves what I'm saying. That because back in Adam and Eve's days, the people were 12 feet tall. Adam and Eve were about, in the Bible, they say they were 15 feet tall. In the Quran, they say they were 90 feet tall. They only find people of that stature here in the Americas. Do you make traditional artifacts? It's not an artifact if I make it. If it's an artifact if it's found. But do I make stuff like regalia? Yeah, here and there. Like my Gastoet, I made that. My headdress. Maybe one day it will be an artifact. But yeah, I guess one day. But yes, the elites believe what I'm telling you. That native. This is why we have blood quantum cards, because we have the blood of the original humans of God's DNA, basically. And then we got reservations, like a reserve, basically. Zoo. Garden of Eden. Because we are the original humans of the planet that are in the Bible. Because when natives heard the story of Jesus, Jesus was comparable to Quetzalcoatl. When natives heard all those stories in the Bible, natives said, we have those stories. So that's why they sent the Black Robe and the Jesuits, is because they had to rewrite the Bible 6 times after they met us. 6 times after they met us. Even the Book of Mormon, Joseph Smith, Mormonism was founded here in Western New York. And Joseph wanted to do what Scunyadayot did. Scunyadayot started a religion for the 6 nations, the Haudenosaunee Empire, why New York State is called the Empire State. Well, all the governments base their religion off, or their government, all the superpowers of the world base their government off of our stuff. China, Russia, United States all base their government off of this, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. Karl Marx, that wrote the manifesto to communism, was highly inspired by it. He called it primitive communism, comparing the Tadadaho to the dictator, basically. Called it primitive communism. The founding fathers were also inspired of our separation of powers and all that, the way we handle business. So they copied us with join or die, the black snake cut up into different colonies, right? That's the 6 nations. Iroquois means the black snake. The League of 6 Nations, join or die. So they copied our government. So the superpowers of the world were inspired by us. We are the original people. We have they call us the Red Romans because we surpassed the Romans and the Greeks. And also New York Giants, the football team, is because of all the giant remains. New York is where the Garden of Eden is. The oldest forest in the world is in the Catskill Mountains in New York.
The world's oldest forest.
The world's oldest fossil forest, found in Cairo, New York, dates back approximately 385 to 387 million years. It features fossilized roots of Archaeopteris and Asterix Cladoxylopsid asterisk trees, showing that complex root systems existed much earlier than thought. These trees altered the planet by removing
Cairo,
CO2
New York,
from the atmosphere.
Cairo, New York, huh? Damn. I forgot to call the res today. Yo, I forgot to call the nation. Babe, I forgot to call the nation today.
Oh wow.
Fuck. Monday. Gotta do that Monday. Forgot to register. And I didn't get my January check. So I should have looked this month. So I registered before the deadline so I can get my February check. So we'll see. They got my paperwork. Yeah, I know. They can't mix with because there's people that aren't real humans. You got the 8 great apes, right? You got 8 different blood types. Native Americans have more copper in their blood. They say we used to be blue-green. Like turquoise. That's why natives love turquoise, probably. I don't know. And then we were red. It went from blue-green to red to yellow to black to white. The red man. Adam is the red man. Edom. Adama is red earth. Edom is red. Adam is man. Red man. Red clay is also Indian clay. They also call us Redskins. Cleveland Indians. Oh, that never happened, yo. They never called me. I got my hopes up for nothing. I'll never get my hopes up again. It was whack. But time to move on. Damn, my girl makes the best coffee. So I got a new dab rig. Nectar collector. And I went and got a torch too. Right? Ace. And it comes apart on. So, right there. Right there. It's stuck. There you go. Titanium nail. Pop that right back on there when it cools down so it don't melt. I want to get a different color one of these. Get a red one or a green one. But yeah, I got Lucky Charms. Tons of fucking wax. Tons of pucks. Then I got some. Oh. My light went out, yo. Fuck. Is it time to light the candle? What the fuck, yo? Embarrassing. What the fuck, y'all? Let me get my room light on then. God damn. Whatever. Was gonna light this, but I can't even get the fucking thing. I don't want to light this yet. This is a nice one. She's blinking and shit. There we go. That's better. Get this light. Ayo. Take a dab real quick. Come on. One time I grabbed it while it was all orange. I went. I had a big bubble on my fingers. Here we go. Nectar collector. 100% THC. This is way stronger than flower. Our thing was the plants, yo. That's our thing. We domesticated the plants. The strongest medicine is the plants, yo. That's the strongest medicine. You can heal yourself from the plants. There's a plant that can do everything. Oh, what up, Maria? Yo, Facebook is whack. Or not Facebook, TikTok. Yo, I get flagged too much. I can't even talk on there. Freedom of speech is not real. You get punished for speaking the truth. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not gonna stay on too much longer. I think I'm gonna hop off though. All right, guys. Everybody spam W's in the chat. Who's all in here tonight? You guys don't gotta do all that. But we probably... I wonder if my haters are gonna follow me over here if I start screaming over here. If I not start screaming, streaming. Screaming. Might as well start streaming, I meant. Hey. Hell yeah, yo. Yo, I'll catch y'all later, alright, though? This was an hour-long stream on TikTok. We've been live for 55 minutes. So, I'll leave it on here. Peace.